Gentlemen, boys and girls, YouTubers, Facebookers, Mountaineers, again, we're sticking with it. Find something new, we'll change it. We got an awesome interview today. We got the one, the only Mumbles.
What's up, guys?
If you haven't seen Mumbles, you're missing out. He's done at least 8 or 9 shows this year that were just, one of them was a free show, and if you missed it, that was, I went there the day after I was in a car accident. So, or motorcycle accident. I went there with a broken thumb, struggling, hurting.
And still came
free
through
show. Dick. And my mom bought a CD at a free show. And you guys couldn't show up. It was an amazing set. He played his brand new album in its entirety. It was an awesome experience. Whether or not there was 25 people there or 1,000, Mumbles went hard like there was 1 million people there. And that's the best part about you. So the first time I got to see you perform, you were at King ISO show.
Okay, in Omaha.
And you got pulled on stage actually during an ISO song.
Oh, really? That was the first time you seen me?
That was the first time I seen you.
Okay.
And then after that, I seen you at like Mayflowers or something, and then a home base show and a couple other ones.
Yeah.
So it was, I mean, I've seen you at quite a few now.
Yeah, it's been quite a few.
And the best part about it is it's never the same set, which is awesome. Some guys learn that. Unless the tour name's the same, it should not be the same set. Even if it's the same songs, different orders help.
Yeah.
A lot. One cool thing about like the Welcome Me album is you didn't play it like front to back entirely, which was cool because it just got it was a fun night, guys. Sorry you missed it. If you missed it, if you went there, kudos. Free. These free shows that the artists are involved in are very important for people to show up. Not only for support of the artists, but for support of the venues. I'm not a big fan of the waiting room, but again, when they offer things like that, we have to show up. I don't drink, but I bought some stupid expensive Red Bulls and left some tips, so it's important to engage in those things. So we're going to just dive right in with some of my first questions. Where are you from? I kind of know some of this, so.
Well, for them, they don't.
We'll
pretend that they have no idea who I am. I grew up, and I was born and raised here in Omaha.
Okay.
I kind of just bounced all over Omaha. We never really lived in the same spots. So I lived in South for a little bit. I lived in North Omaha, West Omaha. I lived in Carter Lake for a minute. But this general area my entire life.
What school did you go to?
I was actually homeschooled. I was in public school until 3rd grade. And then my mom pulled me out, and I was homeschooled until I graduated.
You are my first homeschooler. I don't know, 13, 14 of them, first homeschooler.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So this might take an interesting take on some of the topics here. Because honestly, though, I've noticed that the education has no real effect on whether or not they got into music.
Yeah.
I've had high school dropouts here. I've had guys with GEDs. I've had graduates. I've had college graduates. I've had guys that have graduated college and do nothing with their college degree. Right. So don't think education will ever affect your music, except maybe if it's musical education.
Your spelling just might be wrong when you write it down on paper.
And that's okay, because you guys are rappers. It's supposed to be spelled wrong.
Right.
Look at half of your names.
Exactly.
That's why I can't pronounce them.
That's why there's 3s in everybody's names.
Numbers are not letters, guys. So then, you grew up around here. You were homeschooled, which is super. That's what's going to get me into my next question and really kind of break the ice here. If you were homeschooled, I'm guessing you were like friends with your neighborhood and stuff like that, or, I'm guessing you were allowed to be a normal homeschooler, not one of them. Was your mom one of them ones that kept you away from everybody, or were you?
So I was definitely on track to be kept away from everybody. And like when I started homeschooling, I heard a bunch of stereotypes and all of that, and most of those are true. 95% of them are completely true with all homeschoolers. If you're homeschooled, I'm sorry. But I hung out with my cousins and stuff a lot. I lived over at my uncles and aunts off and on here and there. And their kids all went to Central and stuff like that. So I played sports all through high school, through different schools. And I'm very extrovert, so it killed me to just sit inside and just read all day. So I wanted to go out. I wanted to do sports. I wanted to hang out with other people. I was involved in clubs and stuff like that. So
And then is that how you got involved in music? Is just
actually,
or is that something maybe you did at home on the internet, kind of got into?
so how I got into music was my uncle, who he was like my father. My father was absent when I was growing up. So my uncle
That
was,
seems like a recurring theme here too, guys.
unfortunately.
And here's the best part. None of the guys so far have seemed to let that be detrimental to who they've become.
Right.
So remember that. Even if your parental figure's not around, you can still turn out to be good people.
Thank you.
Just keep that in mind, guys.
But yeah, my uncle, who he was kind of my father figure, he was really into hip hop. And I wasn't allowed to listen to rap music or anything like that. So he's like, hey, come here, come check out this Eminem album. And he wanted to be a rapper, and he wasn't great, but then he pushed me for me to do it because he saw that there was a little bit of something there. And then he's who got me into hip hop and everything like that, and teaching me how to count bars and stuff like that and all that. And then that just grew to like the friends I did have when I was in high school, of me just sitting around with a group of them and just freestyling or whatever. And they're like, yeah, you're actually like you're kind of good at that. And then I started recording, and here we are.
Well, that's awesome. That's really cool that your uncle encouraged you to do it, even though your mom was against it. That's kind of outlaw.
Yeah.
So then, what led to Welcome?
So, Welcome, when I decided that I wanted to be a rapper and I was actually going to take it serious, I study a lot when it comes to music, and even still, I look at what do I like, what really works well, and what do I really not like. And I really didn't like music that just didn't have any meaning, or it just...
No substance.
Yeah, there wasn't any substance to it. So I sat down when I first wanted to make music and decided, okay, what kind of stuff do I want to do? And so Welcome was it was my introductory album. It's actually, and I'll say this, I haven't said this anywhere else, so this is a good place for it. This is one of three. This is a series. This is the first album out of three.
Trilogy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you're watching and learning, because guess what? You ain't saying that nowhere else.
But yeah, so Welcome was kind of the introductory, and like I wanted to introduce people, like, okay, this is kind of what you're getting into. That's sweet.
Oh, there you go.
That's cool.
So, and I actually, this is definitely probably one of the best freshman albums from somebody locally.
Thank you.
It goes incredibly personal in certain spots, which is very appreciative from my standpoint, because I love it when you guys get personal in your music. It makes us as fans and listeners not feel alone in our own feelings.
Right.
And there's a couple of them I really dig. A couple of them I listened to a lot over a couple times when I was having some bad feelings. So it honestly is an awesome introduction album, because if this is just a tip of what we're going to get, just the intro, I'm excited to see what the other two are going to be. Because you just dropped a single with Tabo.
I did, level
which
2.
That, again, named perfect, because you went from level 1 to level 2 and went from the intro to, here we are, we're starting into the story, we're really getting into it. You guys better start saving your experience points and putting them in the right slots here. Because, and it's a very personal album, which I can see that way you didn't go from the writing weed raps and the best raps to writing something people can actually relate to.
Right.
Because, no offense to you guys that write the I'm the best raps, I can't relate to that shit because I'm not the best rapper, nor do I aspire to be. So it's really hard for me to even take. I mean, granted, some of the bars in there can be good. It's not a good song.
I understand that.
They're very hard to stomach. Rap God, that's 7 minutes of him being "I'm the best," and anybody that thinks that's the greatest song in the world, I'm sorry, you have no idea what real hip hop or rap.
7 minutes straight.
Real hip hop and rap started off as people telling their feelings about being in the ghetto.
Mm.
You know, they didn't start off as disses or anything like that. It evolved to that, and it evolved to being the best rap. But it started off as struggles.
Right.
You know, it's once quoted as it was the CNN of the hood. You know, so
I like that a lot.
That's why when people do the personal and the feeling rap about how they feel and how they're dealing with it, how they either overcame to it or succumbed to it and then came back from it. You know, the failure stories with redemptions are some of the best stories too.
Right.
So, you know, don't think if you guys have ever failed at something and don't redeem yourself, that's not worthy of telling, because some people really need to hear that too. And with this, you can tell where you struggled growing up. You can definitely understand that you moved place to place to place. Never felt like you had enough, and people made you feel bad for that. But then you realize that's not what makes you a good person. That's why I really like Rich Kid. I mean, that's basically telling you, hey, money don't make you a good person, and what you have isn't what makes you good.
I don't need money.
It's how you treat people, how you carry yourself. And if you don't understand, if you really do not know Mumbles, this man is at a ton of people's shows. I mean, I see him everywhere.
Yeah, because you're also always at shows, so we run into each other a lot.
Like, next to Jay Lively, Mumbles is like one of the most supportive artists in this scene. I know you give rides to people, and you took people on tour and drove them, and just because, you know, you're that nice of a guy, and understand that if people need your help and you have the ability to help them, you help them.
And I understand how, when I had no support of that, just those one or two people like, hey, you're really dope, I believe in you, like, that's cool. And I know that drove me to go even farther and farther and farther, so I like doing that for other people and showing support. And
I can tell you a lot of these guys appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like, I you know, it's real weird, sort of, when you talk about other people, and then, but at the same time, it's not, because it's like, yeah, you know, you guys are normal people.
Right.
So it's real cool when I talk to the other artists, and they just have nothing but awesome and humble things to say about you. And, you know, very few people in this scene have that. And for a young guy blossoming out and starting, that is very awesome. That just shows your character and where you're going to go. So with your trilogy, do you have an album in the works, or you're just kind of mulling some ideas around?
So before Welcome was ever heard by anybody, when I was like 3 songs in was when I set out, okay, this is exactly what I want to do, and I kind of road mapped, because I didn't want to throw darts and just hope that they stick. I wanted to, okay, this is what I want to do, how do I get there? So I set out, and my next album, which will be titled Jesse.
Nice.
That one, I won't say it's almost done, so that people are expecting it, but there's a lot of songs that are done for it.
So it's substantially
And I've been working on
a forward process.
Yeah, by the time this one was already done wrote, I was working on number 2. And when number 2's finished writing, I'll be working on number 3. And I know what I want for both of those, so it's coming a little quicker.
Versus just sitting there and having 5 songs and then trying to fill in
it's like,
the other 3.
I hope this works. Yeah. Let me just call this album The Greatest or something like that. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And see, guys, that's a good way to get over writer's block. If you're kind of having an issue with something, if you really do, you know, maybe it's not right for that album you're trying to do or that EP. So kind of push it off and see how you can make it part of the mythos or the universe you're developing around your persona and your art.
Right.
You know, like, I mean, everybody's art has their own mythology to it.
Yeah.
Like, so make it your universe, you know?
Exactly.
Like, Marvel has theirs, DC, Tolkien, you know?
Which that kind of, even like the Marvel universe, that kind of is inspired of how I want my albums to, like, go in and out of each other.
Exactly. And see, that's one thing I love about Comatose and like Mike Fantastic and a lot of the Cutthroat guys is there is a Comaverse, and a lot of it interweaves into each other in different albums.
And it's cool to watch. You get excited. And it makes you a fan.
At first, you're like, "What's that?" And then you hear it in another, and then all of a sudden, you're like, "Oh!" And then couple messages to Mr. Comatose later, you're like, yeah, some bitch. I knew this. All right,
I knew there was something there.
Let me buy these other 3 CDs so I can get the whole thing.
Put the puzzle pieces together.
Yep. But again, when you find real fans that get engaged like that, that's awesome.
Right.
And the fact that you're already pre-planning, pre-thinking, doing things like that, instead of just going out and winging it, you know. And again, some of them guys that go out and wing it have some dope
Absolutely,
work,
yeah.
you know, but that's again, like I said, a good way if you're hitting writer's block or a stump. And you're like, oh, so take them 2-3 songs, set them to the side, write another 2-3 songs, see where that gets you, and, you know, throw it between each other.
Exactly, yep.
And like you said, you know, you're not just throwing darts at the board hoping these 6 songs stick and make a thing if they're not really making a thing.
Right.
You know, but that goes back to my other conversations. Don't ever throw anything you do away. I just interviewed Silent Chico, and he's dropping his first physical album, and it's a couple songs that he dug back out of the library a few years ago that he played for somebody, and they're like, dude, I really like that, but he absolutely didn't like them and thought they were trash, but he didn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a reason why, because even if you don't necessarily like them, send them to me, I'll let you know.
Which is crazy. And
I mean, because you're your worst critic.
Yeah, 1,000%. And
you know,
the songs that I've always like, I don't know if I want to put that out, are always the ones that people...
everybody likes.
Rich Kid, that almost got scrapped off the album. That was my least favorite song.
And it turns out to be probably one of the...
And it's one of my...
Everybody seems to get into that one on a live set.
Right, and it's one of people's favorites.
Yep, it's definitely one of a favorite live call. Because I see everybody get engaged in it. It has a couple dancing moments to it, a couple real moments to it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very fun song, but a real song.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people at the shows can relate to it. You know, so it's... And that's funny you say that, because I think that's typically what happens. A lot of people are like, oh, I hate this, and it turns out to be everybody's favorite. And whether or not you actually like your one-hit wonder or what everybody else likes, remember, it's not about what you like. It's about what the consumer likes. Not everybody likes snakes and sparklers.
Right.
You know, take Joe Dirt's advice and get some who's their do's and who's their don'ts. So, any plans for upcoming shows, November-wise?
November, no. I'm probably going to slow down, like you said earlier. I have done a lot of shows this year, and they've been pretty consistent, which I'm super blessed for, and I've had some fantastic opportunities thrown at me this year, because a year ago, no one knew who I was.
And you've been out of town and
all
over the place. A little mini tour.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to slow down a little bit. I have some that are unannounced, but I can't talk about those yet.
Yep.
But November, no, I'm not going to have any shows coming up. And then I'm probably going to slow down just so I can really focus in on writing and getting my
next
second album. Yeah. Maybe even take the winter off and then come out swinging again like I did.
Any ideas for music video?
I got a couple. I was actually supposed to have one with Level 2 with Table of the Truth, but just schedules didn't work out.
Yeah.
I was super busy, and then he left on tour with King ISO. So it didn't work out. But other than that, I do have a music video that I'm gonna drop December 21st. And that song,
first day of winter.
Yeah.
Winter is coming.
And that song will be titled December 21st.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm gonna have it's definitely gonna be different than Level 2. It's not gonna be one that people are jumping to. But I'm really excited for it. So
sweet. That's all. And honestly, if you're excited for it, everybody, any real fan should be excited for it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that's one great thing about you is not every one of your songs sound the same either.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
something for everyone to enjoy.
There is clearly a distinctness that you can branch out other than one distinct pattern.
Right.
Which shows you can work with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got some nice features. Again, Tabo the Truth, that Level 2 is just, I'm telling you, that thing is, I hope one day two of you guys are on the same bill and we get to see you guys perform that live, because that'd be a fun song to watch live.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And Tabo, he killed it, and getting to work with him was great, because it wasn't long ago that I was just like, man, he's really cool. Like, I'd love to work with him one day, and I was just a listener, and so then...
No, and then you got to be part of the little mini tour with him.
Mm-hmm.
that probably helps break the ice a little bit.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
man,
And
we're
so,
tour mates, maybe we should do a song together.
yeah, exactly. And stuff like
but
that was cool.
but no, that's cool that you got that coming out, and then now I'm really stoked for December 21st. I usually hate winter, but at least now I know I got something to look forward to. Music video by Mumbles, December 21st. Song, December 21st. You heard it on the Mountain Dew review.
I can't talk about a lot for December yet, but I will say December is going to be a really good month for Mumbles. And I'm very, very excited.
We got a couple things planned too. So
Okay.
I got one thing planned. I shouldn't say a bunch of things. But me and a couple guys are going to be working on a toy drive together.
Oh, awesome. That's super cool.
And then so we'll end up getting a bunch of artists to go and donate toys to the Children's Hospital.
That's really cool. I've always wanted to do something like that.
I'm more involved in things that lead to donations. Kind of like my sister's birthday bash we're doing. Again, the whole point of that is it's a free show. I'm covering all the cost of it. And it's not too expensive, but it's not too cheap. I see why some people charge you guys to
get on the shows.
To get on the shows, because that shit ain't free.
No,
trust me, it's costing me more than I thought, but less than I thought. Because as soon as he told me that was not, he was like, "What do you think this is, UNICEF?" I said, "Oh, so what is it? This?" He said, "Dude, what are you eating? Steak?" I said, "Well, then tell me the price." So, I mean, they're $300-400 for a DJ, sound, all that stuff. You know? So when you artists kind of complain about paying to play, remember, the stuff ain't free. I mean, even if the venue's free, the sound costs, because not all them venues got good enough sound for you to want.
Yeah.
Usually the free venues got the worst sound.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So you're gonna have to hire a DJ that'll bring in good sound if you want a good show.
Right.
And that's what I'm doing. But the whole purpose of the show is every artist there, and even if you're not on the bill, guys, come out to the damn show. Pay $10 to come in and set up a booth. Like, no shit. Come sell your fucking merch. I mean, that's the whole point. It's a free show. Come in, sell your booth. I mean, we're encouraging everybody to buy merch off you guys. That's the whole point of the show. My sister's really big into supporting the local scene.
That's gonna be awesome.
And I wanted to give back for her 40th birthday by putting some of her favorite artists together. And to me, I think the greatest thing about it is, and one way I got to encourage some of these artists to not expect money out of being able to sell tickets, because I understand the need to want to sell tickets and get some money for it, is to push merch sales.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're going to a free show, buy a $10 CD.
Yeah.
Look, me and my mom went to Mumbles. The only thing he had for sale was a CD, which I've already had a copy of, and my mom bought a copy. So he still sold a CD at a free show. Oh, in fact, my buddy bought one too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my buddy Matt bought one off you. So he sold 2 CDs that day. So
that's awesome.
Free shows sell merch, guys. I'm telling you. So you're making a little something off it, and it's still promoting. My mom loves it. She next to like Smoke Break and Drama, she plays it all the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know if you guys see some of the goofy videos I post when I ride with my mom and she jams out. It's hilarious. So then we're kind of going to get wrapped up here. I want to lean towards some of my kind of goofy questions I like to ask. This one's a dream collab.
Okay.
You get to pick 3 guys, 3 women, 3 whatever. Famous, infamous, underground, nobody may know of.
Okay.
Live or dead. Any genre. They don't even have to be singers.
Tech 9, that's first. That's been a dream collab. With anything, I'd love to work with Tech 9. He's been my favorite artist since I was like 10. One that's not alive, I would have loved to work with Linkin Park. Linkin Park would be a band that I'd really like to make a song with. And then probably Eminem. Eminem, I grew up listening to.
So I seen the Super Bowl picture, and I looked at my wife and said, "How come Eminem looks like an angry Tom Green?" He really does, guys.
He really does.
And if you don't think he looks like an angry Tom Green, just go look up Tom Green, and you're gonna be like,
then look at that picture.
You're gonna be like, "Holy fuck, Eminem wants some sausages."
That's amazing.
So that's a solid lineup, and you definitely fit the bill with any of them. That's really cool, because definitely with Tech, definitely with Eminem, and with Lincoln, with just your actual message and feeling and lyrics, you would definitely be able to craft something awesome there.
Yeah.
So then, if you were stuck listening to one song the rest of your life, not necessarily on repeat, but it's the only song you can listen to,
Oof.
what's it gonna be?
That's hard. I wasn't ready for the tough questions like this. Probably it's my favorite song of all time. It's Chris Calico, "Stop the World." That's always like when I'm down. Music absolutely helps me with my mental. And that's always a song that I revisit. It's been my favorite song for a long time. And so whenever that one always cheers me up. So that'd be a good one to always be able to listen to if I only got one.
One to be stuck with?
Yeah, yeah.
I got that reversed on me the other day, and it was, mine's a flock of seagulls. I ran so far away, and I ran so far away. That was like just one of the first tape cassettes I've ever owned. That's how old I am. I had tape cassettes, and I just remember having a Flock of Seagulls tape because my dad absolutely hated it, and nobody else in my family liked it, so I was allowed to have it. And when that's the only thing you're allowed to have, you fall in love with it. That
was me with Eminem. My uncle bought me a single Eminem album, and I was like, I'm just going to listen to this on my little radio every day.
Yep, I had a Talkboy that I hooked headphones up to and listened. The Talkboy was from Home Alone 2. All right, so then my final question, and I think you're going to be the first one I'm going to nail it with. 7 words or less. Name where you want to do with your music.
7 words or less. Where do I want to make a difference? I think that's what I'll say. Make a difference.
I can already tell you already are. So
I'm trying. I want to make an impact with my music. That's why I write certain songs like I do. I know struggling. I've been through a lot in just my 21 years. So if my words can help someone else, then that's ultimately what I want to do.
No, and that's one of the common themes here on the Mountain Dew Review. Most of you guys really just want to make your music help people.
Right.
And I like that answer better than I want weed, bitches, and money.
Yeah.
You know? But again, if that's your thing and you're dead honest with it, bro.
Chase your dreams.
I'm still going to support you. But, like, the whole trying to help other people and being a little less selfish with your music, it's really important.
Right.
I'm a big proponent that mental health and music go together hand in hand. And humans, again, are the only creature on Earth that listen to a music for pure enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other animals can do all kinds of stuff for enjoyment, but none of them sit there and actually make music.
Yeah.
You know, and humans, I mean, you can argue writing, things like that, but music is one of them things that is strictly a human need to feel good.
Yeah.
We were given that for a reason, and I enjoy it when artists like you utilize that. And with that, Mr. Mumbles, where can we find your music?
You can find me on everything, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you stream music. I have an album Welcome out, and then I just dropped a song with Table of the Truth called Level 2.
So, again, at the beginning of the video, you got his logo. We'll have the cover art with where you can find his music. So go back to the first 30 seconds if you do not remember what he just told you. Again, it's on all platforms. Look up Mumbles on Facebook. Go like his page. Go like him on YouTube, Spotify. Go buy his music. I mean, it's a digital copy. Go buy a physical copy. Hit him up for physicals. Next time you see him at a show, harass him about one, buy one. It's very important to these artists to be able to get this stuff out and at least show that they're getting a little money back so they can reinvest in themselves, so we can get a cool music video like December 21st. You know, the things cost money. They're not free. Remember that, guys. Everything costs money.
Everything.
So support should cost a little. And I know they say support's free, but it's not necessarily free, guys. Like, if you got a little bit, I mean, I know you guys waste money on Taco Bell and other garbage, like, and you can give it to a man that's going to really appreciate it and love you and give us something back that's more worthwhile. Again, 93,000 of you fucking idiots went to Garth Brooks. What the fuck? Like, and only 15 of you went to a free concert on a Monday. I hate you people. Ah, what in the fuck? He would have appreciated 93,000 people at the waiting room.
Would have been very appreciative.
You know? You think he canceled his tour after that because all you motherfucking idiots paid for it. He was like, shit, I made so much money off these dumbass Nebraskans, I can cancel the rest of my fucking tour. Yeah! Fucking idiots.
I would have never canceled my tour. I'm just saying.
He would have kept on going. Fuckers. Like, goddamn, what, you were dying that bad to be in Memorial Stadium? Was that the thing? Like, I gotta touch the seat Eric Crouch keeps losing on. What the fuck? Goddamn, support locals.
I love the Garth Brooks hatred.
And it's not necessarily... Rant over. Mr. Mumbles, I want to thank you very much for being on the Mountain Dew review. It's been my pleasure having you here. I hope it's been everybody's pleasure learning a little bit about you. Again, go check his music out. And Mr. Mumbles, you are officially tramp stamp approved.
We made it. I won, Mom.
Mama, you did it.
I told you rap would pay off.